Hi everyone. This is Joyce from Paper Art with Joyce. The reason I'm half laughing is because I live here in Massachusetts, and it's been a gorgeous day. It's been really warm and nice outside. Um, but anyway, I'm sitting here getting ready to start this video, and we have chickens. And I heard this funny noise, and I went to the slider, and it was hailing out, and three of my chickens were loose. So I was running around out there in the hail, chasing my chickens. So I did get them in, but if you see anything dropping from my hair, it's hailstones, little pellets of hailstones. But anyway, onward with the video. So today, I want to let me flip over so you can see this. I want to make some cards, a couple of cards with this beautiful new set of elegant borders dies. And I've been having so much fun with it. I've made quite a few cards, and I will show you some of the other ones that I made at the end of the video. Um, so anyway, this is just like a little printout of using the dies to show you what they look like. And they're really beautiful. I'm really getting a lot out of them already. And this is what they look like. They're uh, you you have to understand when you start using them that one side of the die cuts cuts out completely, and it has a border. You can see it when you look at it. The other side is meant to stay inside the paper, so it doesn't cut this inside edge. And I'll show you as we go along. But it's really easy to see though. On each one of them, you can see the hard edge, and the other side is does not have a hard edge. Okay, so let's get started. The first one I'm going to do is let's see if I should move these out of here, the way. The first one I'm going to do is this card, which I'm really happy the way it came out. It's made with uh, some DSP called Symbols of Fortune, which are it's beautiful paper. I don't know if it's still available, but some of you might have it. If not, you can adapt this whole thing to your own papers. Um, but anyway, that's what we're going to make. So I'm going to leave this out so we can see it while we're working. So of course the base is your traditional 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. But we're going to be assembling it horizontally instead of the traditional up and down like this. Okay. So let's, I'm going to leave it flat for a little while we're working on it. So the DSP that's on the front of the card is 5.5 by 3.25 because we're going to be attaching the border. So, and what I'm going to do is cut this out. Let me see if I can get my big shot over here to show you. I think we can get it in here. Scraps on my thing. Okay. So we're going to cut an oval where the heron is in the middle. Actually, it's offset. I didn't put it in the middle because I wanted to make room for the sentiment. So I kind of put it down just about there. Okay. And I used a die with an oval die with the crimped edges to give it a little more style. It's pretty. Okay. You don't want to get too close to the edge though, because you need to work your edge with the border. and try to make it straight. And I always go back and forth a couple of times to make sure it cuts out right. It should be okay. Perfect. All right, so we'll save this piece for another time. And while we're cutting, I'm going to cut the border, which I've already cut it, so I can take this out of the way and show you. I keep thinking of my chickens running around. That was too much. The border dies themselves are 6 inches long, and this one that I used for this card, as you can see right here, I've already cut it, but I didn't finish cutting it. I wanted to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to one sec. To make it fit on the card, because the card is 5.5, we just have to snip off the very ends of it. But you can do it because there is a line there that will end the design. You could put this in your cutter if you prefer than doing it by hand, but pretty easy, I think. I like my long scissors. I'm going to flip it over so I can cut the edge. Make sure it's still where we said. Yep. So you're just taking off the very end of it, which it's still beautiful. It doesn't, you can't even tell. Okay. So what I did was I glued this on the bottom edge of it, and then this will go on top, but we have more work to do. So we can put this on though. Glue this on. Oops. Use my silicone mat when I glue. I generally use the liquid glue. There's times where I do use the runner, but you know, this is a foil paper, which is a little heavier, so I want to make sure it doesn't lift. And just get it close to the edge. There. Okay, so we're going to stamp the heron. Oh, I meant to show you that. I'm using this stamp set, the Heron Habitat stamp set, which is also from Stampin' Up. I don't think it's still available, but I know it was very popular and a lot of people have it. But of course, you can put anything you like in the middle. You know, you can adapt your paper and your focal points as much as you want. Okay, so the white piece of paper that goes underneath to stamp your oval, stamp your heron on is 5 by 3, I believe, because it doesn't have to go all the way to the end. It just has to be able to take in the heron. Now, what I do is I lined up that one edge. And my heron, and I did the heron in gray. make sure it's underneath. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now what we can do is we can glue this together and glue this on top. So it's best to put the glue on the top sheet so you can see where the glue is going and won't be oozing out by the picture, by the focal picture or the whatever you're putting in there, flower. I'd love to know if any of you that watch this have animals and maybe chickens that you also chase around your yard. They do have coops and pens, but they like to escape whenever they can. Okay, so that's down good. And now what I'm going to do is put this on here. Okay. So I just leave a little bit of a space at the top so you're not interfering with the bend of the card, and also that leaves a little bit at the bottom also. Okay. And looks like I might have to trim just a hair. As I see the gold sticking out, which is easy enough to do. Okay. Alrighty. On the inside, we're going to put a piece of white, but I'm stamping it with this reed here, or cat of nine tails. I think that's what they are. I put those. Doing those in gray also, just to match everything. Don't always need color. You know, sometimes something simple as that is still just as effective. And I'm just doing it right in the corner. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to glue this in here. My glue's getting low. I can feel it here. But I have more. And that has a nice little border around it. Sometimes I also put a sentiment inside with it, which I can do later. I didn't pick one out yet, but I have plenty to pick from. Oops, this side's off a little bit. Just a hair. Okay. All right. Now for the sentiment, this one says adventure awaits. I decided just to make this one celebrate. So it could be anything. You know, I was thinking this is a nice card for like a graduate that they're ready to go off and have a new adventure. But celebrate is also very nice because it could be for anything, and it's a very ornate sort of card. So I think I like that better. Besides, I don't like to make them all the same. I'm sticking with the gray because I like to keep it all almost kind of a monotone. It's gold and gray, but it's very pretty together. Okay. And I'm going to use my silicone mat to give it, when you're using the clear stamps, you need something underneath to give it a little bit of cushion when you're stamping. Yes. And I'm going to put this on dimensionals. Good old dimensionals. Love them. You just add, gives it a little extra. And I think that works nice right there. One more thing on the inside. Well, there's a couple more things. We want to put a few jewels. I put an extra strip on the inside. I think that's pretty also. It adds to it. So I did have one, and this one's got like dragonflies on it, which I think is cute. It's just a little long. I have to cut it. Let's see. Pencil. The backs of their papers are beautiful too. Sometimes it's a shame to have to cut them, but you have to make a choice. Okay. There. A little bling inside too. Okay, so let's get a couple of gems for the front. I have these pretty yellow ones. So let's see, where did I put it? I put one here. One there. And one on one of the dragonflies. That's pretty. There we go. All right, so that's one. I did make another card, which from the dies. I wanted to show you that too. So this is, let me see the finished one here. This is the finished one. And this one I ended up using two of the dies. I used this thinner die, and I used this die down here, which is actually my favorite, although they're all beautiful. But this, I had a lot of fun. This was kind of a, as I was making it, I was coming up with more ideas. So this has, this one uses this die, but twice. Okay, so let's do this one. So the base is purple. Oops. And it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.5. The white focal part that we're going to cut with the dies is 5.5 by 3 1/8, because we want to leave a little bit of room. Oops, this one looks like it's a little bit too long. Oops, I'm trying to write with the pick. Cut this one down. Sorry, that one was a little bit too long. Just have to shave it off a little. There we go. Okay, so first we're going to cut the purple. So we'll have the end of it. And I'll bring my big shot over to show you that again. So what you do is oops, sorry, I hit my computer. All right, so we're going to use the one that everybody says looks like a mustache. So we're going to go on the edge. Now, like I said, there's a hard edge on one side, and it's very obvious. You'll see it when you look at it. And these are still available, but they're online. You have to go on the online exclusives. They're not in the book. But if you can still get them, I would. They're absolutely beautiful. And we want the edge cut out, but we don't want the inside cut, remember. So the hard edge goes to where you want your cut edge. And I go as close to the edge of the paper as possible. And I also like to stick a little bit of tape on it just so it doesn't move. So like I say, this one is a little bit, the paper is 5.5 and the border dies are 6. So you have to cut off the edges. So you want to make sure it's in the middle. Okay. And this one, oops. I would go back and forth a couple of times with it because there's a lot of little lines and cutouts in it. Looks good. This is a low-tech artist tape, which really works well, so it doesn't rip your paper. And then a lot of them will drop right out, the cuts, but then you might have to take your pick tool and just push out the rest. There. Very, very pretty. Okay, so that's the purple. And then, if you're not familiar, this is a magic mat by scrapbook.com. It replaces your hard, if you have a Big Shot. They make them for all different cutting machines too, not just the Sizzix Big Shot. But it's really neat. It has more give to it. It's just hard to explain. It's worth trying them out. I love mine. Okay, so we did the purple. Now we're going to do the white piece that goes on top that has both dies on it. It has the same one on one side and the smaller one on the other side, but I'm only going to do one at a time. And if you can, because it's a smaller piece of paper, I can put it on an angle. It helps to get through the machine with less boom. Okay, so let's tie this down a little bit. Make sure it stays there. like to do it, like I say, a few times to make sure it all gets cut. And pick this up gently. And I think that's the end of that tape. I got quite a few tries out of it though. Okay. Nice. It all came out at once. I'll clean this after. It's very easy to clean. It has little holes and you just push with a pick and all the pieces fall right out. Okay. Put that to the side for now. Now we're going to do the other side. Let me get rid of this scrap. And the other one is the narrow die. Okay. And the hard edge is on the outside. So we want that to cut on the outside edge of the paper. And once again, these are 6 inches, so you need to have you need to cut off a little bit of them. So you could do this 2 ways. You could cut a bigger piece of paper and then clip them off, or I like to cut the paper to fit the card. And then you don't have a lot of extra cutting to do. You line it up first. And get another piece of tape. Nothing worse than getting halfway through a cut, especially if you've already got part of it done and then it slips. So it's worth to take the time and just put that little piece of tape on there. All right. Let me go through once more. Perfect. Okay, so we're done with the big shot for now. Just want to get the tape off so that the glue isn't on it for a long time. And this one too, once again, you just push out through the holes and you get all the extra pieces out. Okay. Okay. Now, when you put this on, you want to put it just a little bit down from the bend. And if you feel better about just closing it up first, you can do that too. That way you know for sure. And you want this okay. So this is going to line up this edge right above this edge of this cut. It's not hard to do it. It's already cut to size, so you just have to line your edges up. And get this one again. Now I don't put any glue on the cuts just on the solid part. Hoping I can get through this without having to go for another glue. Okay. Use your tweezers if you can, because you won't get glue all over your fingers, which inevitably end up going on the card. Okay. Now, to make the white, we're going to put the inside white piece, and that is, looks like I got to cut it, 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. I'll have all these measurements on the description after I load this video. But if you would like a printout of the description, the cutting dimensions, and the assembly directions, you can email me, and I'll put that up after, so you can send me your email. I'd be glad to send you a free instructions. I'm just trimming this down. It's a little bit too long. Okay. There we go. And I stamped just a couple of leaves. Where did I put them? Thought I had them out, set out. Okay, so from this Irresistible Bloom set, this is the flower that I know what I had them over here. They disappeared. Don't know where the flower went. On the floor, of course. All right. So on the inside, I just stamped the leaves, but I have an extra one, and I'm going to use that one. So we'll just glue that. It's good to have extras around. Yeah. And then this goes inside. And you want this white to go all the way to the bottom. It shouldn't touch the top, because it should be cut a little bit shorter. But you want that, so when it closes, you see the white under the purple. Pretty, huh? Okay, so now I put this is a little bit off here. Let me fix this. There. You don't want it hanging over too far. There. Okay, so this one is going on dimensionals. And this is from, like I said, the Irresistible Blooms. And I've already pre-cut it out to save some time. And I put this pretty much in the middle. And the leaves off to the side. So for the sentiment, I put enjoy your day. And I just stamped it right on there because I felt that there's so much ornate on it already, that it would take away to have another piece standing up. So I used garden green for the leaves. So I did the words too in green. Okay. And of course we have to have gems. Let's get that going. And let's see. Let's just do the solid rhinestones just for the sparkle. I'm just doing 2. I think that's perfect. Okay. So there we go. So that's those 2. Now I want to show you a couple other ones that I did with the dies. I'll find where they went here. Here we go. Here's another one that's horizontal, and it's using a mustache die with some additional, I think this is from the Daisy Stamps set. Those over there. Then I really went crazy with this one. This is the evergreen paper and the stamp set from the Sweet. I haven't done anything on the inside yet, but this one came out pretty, I think. All in greens, but I'm a green person. That's my favorite color. This has gold leaf on the paper. It's nice. So I did some extra gold sprigs and put a ribbon on it. And then this one I made today. This was a little bit different. Oh, I keep hitting that thing. Sorry. This one has this is a fun fold, gate fold, and it has a belly band. It has this cutout. This is the other one that I made. Okay, so that's kind of pretty too. I like that. And this is from the Cottage Rose paper and the Cottage Rose stamp set. I have that over here. I do. That's what this one looks like. So I was able to incorporate a lot of different stamp sets with the dies. This is so pretty, isn't it? I love it. And I made this a birthday card. So there are 5 of them, and I already have ideas for some other ones too. So let me know what you think. If you're willing to like my video and subscribe to my channel, you'll see more of my videos. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, or just give me a comment. Tell me what you think of those cards, and if you'd like to see more with the dies. And if you don't have a host right now, then I'd love to be your host and help you with your card making. Here's my email, paperartwithjoyce@gmail.com, and if you email me, I can send you the free dimensions and directions. Excuse me. And if you want to order, you can either go to this straight to my section, which is joycewickman.stampinup.net. And you can order on that section. Or you can just go to stampinup.com, and at the top it says find a demonstrator, and you can put my name in, Joyce Wickman. Okay. If you have any questions, email me or put them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think of all these cards, and if you think you might try it out. And like I say, the dies are in the online exclusives. Okay. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll continue to watch my videos. Have a great day.